Okay, the contestant on the first season of The Next Great Baker that I can relate to the most. I know in the application I initially said wasn't sure, but I watched a lot of the clips on YouTube, and I would have to say that I relate the most to Keisha, and it's not because we're the same race, but it's because she was very real. She was self-taught, like myself. She wasn't on drama. I could tell she was not a fake or superficial person. And she, like I said, she had a hunger to strive, and she had a passion for baking. And that's how I am. I'm real upfront and honest. I tell it like it is. As you can see, I can't sing, but I sing, sometimes sing words to people, like when I call them and stuff, just being silly. But I tell it like it is, and that's how I relate to her the most. I am self-taught. I'm a self-taught baker, 100%. I have raw natural talent. I learned everything that I know. Well, I started learning from my mother, and I developed it into something greater and better. She used to always tell me that that I was going to be a better cook and a baker than her, and I think I've pretty much achieved that now. God rest her soul. She would be very proud of me right now, I must say. I currently have a home-based baking business. The name of it is Sweets by Shannon. The website is sweetsbyshannon513.com. I have clientele that frequent my business, friends, family, referrals from cakes they may have had at a party, bridal shower. My most recent creation was for a friend, her husband's birthday, and I will have pictures of that on, because I don't have like a live footage of the cake, but I'll have pictures of that. I started baking cookies and pound cakes at an early age. I know it was before 15, but 15 is when I remember when I really started making pound cakes, but I was making cookies before then. And 15 is when I kind of started developing a love for it. I was already cooking, and I really like cooking, but baking is definitely taking precedence over the cooking. The type of baking styles that I hate boxed mixes. And I know before I said I didn't like the word hate because it's such a strong word, but I absolutely hate boxed cake mixes. I hope that does not offend anybody, but I do. I feel like to put a boxed cake mix together with an egg and some oil is just not cutting it. It's not the same. I hate to hear when people say, oh, I made this homemade cake. That's not homemade when it comes out of a box. I'm sorry. I'm the kind of baker, I use flour, cake flour, real butter, sugar, the whole 9, eggs, everything. Fattening stuff goes into my cakes. If you eat any of my desserts, be prepared to probably gain a couple pounds or something. You might want to run on the treadmill for an hour after you eat it or before. I'm a Midwestern girl with a Southern flair for cooking, and I believe in all the fats. I just feel like if you're going to eat dessert, you might as well go for the gusto. Go for the top. The sky's the limit. And the PSA, from a nursing standpoint, just eat it all in moderation. That's the only advice I can give you. I can be creative at times. Well, a lot of times I am creative. Sometimes I just kind of decorate and just let my hands do the walking, per se. Sometimes I just start going and just go and then end up with something, and a lot of times when I do that without a plan, it turns out to be something fabulous. I guess the most creative thing I did create was a practice wrestling ring cake, because my soon-to-be 10-year-old son is a WWE fanatic. I mean, he's nuts about it, and he really wants a wrestling ring cake, so I said, well, I'll start practicing. I think I'll probably practice one more time. His birthday is next month. Something interesting about me that everybody doesn't know is at the age of 11, I was a first-degree black belt in Taekwondo, so you better watch out. Okay, my favorite conversation topics would be food, which includes baking, music, and current events. I like to stay on top of things, CNN, what's going on in the White House, and the State of the Union, and all that good stuff. I also like to talk with people that could help further promote my business and maybe have, good ideas for my baking business, because I do want this to take off for me. I would say within the next 5 years. Hey, 2 years would be great, 2 to 5 years, even sooner than that if possible. But that's what I'm really looking to do. That's what I've been investing a lot of my free time in when I'm not at work, is promoting my business and getting it to take off the ground, because I would eventually like to open my own shop. I really don't like to discuss religion. It's a very touchy subject with a lot of people, and everybody has their own beliefs, and I don't really think it should really be discussed openly unless both people are willing. Although I am a Christian and I do believe, I just don't like to really discuss that with people. I get my recipes from recipes I've developed from my mom. She was the one, like I said before, that initially taught me. I also go on websites sometimes, like on Food Network, and get ideas, and I kind of put my own twist on it. If something doesn't sound right, like if it's not as much, the ratio of butter to sugar is not right, I'll change that up where it needs to be, make adjustments, add some lemon for zing, and add some salt for depth. I also like to add a half a cup of fresh whipped heavy cream into, whipping cream right before it gets to that whipped cream topping consistency, right before it forms the soft peaks, and I fold it into my finished batter, and that makes for a light, airy, moist cake. It really does, and that would be perfect for all those non-homemade from scratch cake believers that like box mix, that may, some of them, that changes their mind, believe it or not. I lost my train of thought. My skill level, as far as baking goes, I would say average. I do produce quality, good tasting baked goods, and I feel that the good taste and texture of a cake is just as important as the decorations that go on it. What's the use of having a dry cake if the outside is pretty? Decorating, I would say beginner, because I know there are a lot of things that I need to work on, but I have developed my skills. I've seen a huge change in my skills even within the last weeks, and definitely within the last few weeks, and definitely once I got that email from Julia. It just sent me into overdrive. I've been doing a lot of practicing, and I've even bettered my skills in the last few days, to be honest. And pastries and desserts, I would say average. I do make pies and other pastries. I make fabulous homemade donuts. They are fabulous. They taste like they came from a bakery. I had a lot of compliments on them. Do I think that you have to go to culinary school in order to be a good baker? I would say, or true or false. It's false. Hell no. I'm sorry, but no. I don't think that you have to go to school for that. I think baking is an art. You can learn that, but I think it's something, either you got it or you don't. Like some other things in life. Like some people can do hair. Either you can do hair or you can't. When you go to school for it, if you can't do hair, you still can't do hair after school. And I feel the same way about baking. You may have a better knowledge or better grasp on it, but no. I feel like if you have the passion, the drive, and you believe, because perception is reality. Whatever somebody perceives is their reality. If you believe in yourself and you believe in creating perfect showpieces that are going to be their dessert for wedding, birthday, whatever, because a cake really is a showpiece for that customer. If it's perfect in every way, then you'll be successful, because that customer will keep coming back and they will rave about you, and they will send other people your way, thus helping you to further yourself and be more successful. But no, you don't have to go to culinary school for that. I really don't believe it. It probably helps, but no, not necessary. Under time constraints, I can work well. I do work well, and